Hi everyone, in this video tutorial we're going to go through how to use text in Adobe After Effects. I'm going to show you how you create text and configure it and how to animate your text as well. So let's get started. Once you've created a new composition in After Effects, the first thing we need to do is make sure the timeline slider, which is this line right here, is right at the beginning of the project or at 0.00 seconds. The second thing to do is we can click on the text tool and write our text. So I'm going to go up to the toolbar panel, which is underneath the application bar, click on the text tool, move my cursor to the stage and simply click once. Avoid text boxes if possible. Click once and that will activate the text tool so you can write your text. So I'm just going to write just in lowercase using text. I can change that around by highlighting the text, going to the characters panel, which should be on your right hand side. If you can't see it, simply go to Window and activate the character panel. And you can change your font, you can change the color. Someone give me a color. Can't hear you. So I'm just going to go for a red. And I can change the size as so on here. You can click and type in a number, or you can click and drag left to right. Any of the configurations is available there. And now I'm going to go back to my selection tool. You'll notice, as well as the text being there, it's also created a layer for you, which is very similar to how it works in Photoshop. Once you create text, it creates a layer. Same principle here. And you can see that the layer is called using text, and it's represented by this block, which means it will show it from 0 to 30 seconds. If I want to show it from 2 seconds, I can click on this box, move it in, and then when I move my timeline, you can see it will be visible from 2 seconds to 30 seconds. So you can click on the edge of these boxes and move them around on how long you want them to be visible for. Okay, so let's start to animate this text. Now to do that, we can do it within the actual layer itself. What we need to look for is the arrow triangle facing right, which is next to a colored box around here. So I'm going to click on that drop down, and it gives me a list of options on what we can do to the text layer. We can edit the text itself, we can edit its configurations, or we can transform it, which is to animate your text. So I'm just going to click on that there, and you can see we can transform this text layer. We can change its anchor point, its position, its scale, we can rotate it, or we can make it fade in and fade out opacity. And one of the important things we're going to be using is these stopwatches, okay? And they are clickable. And once you click on it, it will activate a keyframe, a diamond icon on your timeline. So let's get started. I'm going to move my text off screen. Luckily, I can still see the box around it, so it kind of shows me its visibility of where it is. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to animate it in. So I'm going to click on all the stopwatches. Again, make sure my slider is on 0.00 seconds, and I'm going to click on all the stopwatches. And you can see that when I click on them and activate them, a diamond, which is known as a keyframe, is automatically added and activated on your timeline. Now I'm going to move the slider to 4 seconds, as so here. Now I'm going to change the position, scale, or rotation of the layer. So I can change the position here, I can click on these numbers and drag them, and you can see that brings my text in, and it also puts a line across it. That kind of shows the movement or the animation of the text, moving from its original position or from its first keyframe at 0.00 seconds to its new position, its second keyframe at 4 seconds. And again, if I move my red slider to the beginning and hit the space bar to play it, you can see my text is now animating in. And it doesn't have to stop there. You can continue animating your text. So what I can do now is, if I wanted to change the position again, I can move my slider to 8 seconds. You don't have to change the information there. I can simply click on the text and move it to the top right corner. And you can see when I do that, the keyframe is automatically created for me. Again, move my slider to the beginning, hit the space bar, it moves the text into its first position, and then it animates up. Wonderful. And you can add more than one animation effect to your text. So I might want it to disappear once it's there. So right now its opacity is 100%, but I don't want it to disappear from 0 seconds. These keyframes are customizable and can simply click on them and move them freely. So I'm going to move its first keyframe at 8 seconds, and I'm going to say by 10 seconds I want it to disappear. So I'm going to click on that, change it to 0. You can see it's disappeared, but if I move my slider to 8 seconds and play it, you will see it fade out. Now that my text has disappeared, I don't need it visible or have it active throughout the whole 30 seconds, so I can make the block shorter and end it at 10 seconds. Having all your layers go throughout the whole time takes up additional space and a lot of extra RAM, especially when you've got loads of other layers going on. It will speed up that process because it basically says, right, I finished with that layer, put more effort into other layers. So do set a block duration, and again, simply click on the edge of the blocks on the left and right and make it smaller. And again, it makes sense here to end this at 10 seconds. Why? Because it's disappeared at 10 seconds, and so on. So what I'd like you to do is simply follow and practice these steps and create a 30-second opening sequence with just text. This is the first time you're using it, so just use the anchor point, position, scale, and rotation and opacity tools. There are others, but let's start with this basic exercise. Any queries, any questions, any help, please ask Vishal or Andrew. If not, have fun and see you in the next video.